welcome to Relished. I'm Alli. I am a nutritionist and a yoga teacher and author of the Smoothie Book. And I'm here to talk to you every week about a nutrition topic. This week is all about red pepper flakes. I've got a picture or a visual aid right here. And we're going to talk about what they are. We're going to talk about background information. We're going to talk about different ways that it's used in different cuisines. We're going to talk about health information, and then we're going to make a recipe for Asian-inspired cucumber salad that has red pepper flakes in it. So I'm super excited about today's show. If you have any questions or comments, please put them in the chat. I love having a lively conversation about these topics that we discuss every week. So please join in the conversation if you would like. I love comments. So let's get started talking about red pepper flakes. So we all know, we've all pretty much seen the red pepper flakes. They're always on the tables especially at pizza restaurants. I think the first time I ever saw red pepper flakes was in the shaker at Pizza Hut when I was growing up. Maybe you had the same experience. So basically, what are these red pepper flakes? Red pepper flakes are dried red peppers that have been crushed rather than ground. So they've just been crushed. So that's why you see the little pieces into small flakes, including the seeds. So most of the peppers that become red pepper flakes are dried in industrial ovens just to make it a quicker process. And after they're dried, they're pulverized, including the seeds, and then they're packaged. Then we can buy them, all that good stuff. So they're also so this is where it gets a little bit tricky. So red pepper flakes are also known as red pepper flakes are also known as crushed red pepper flakes. They go by lots of different names. So that can be a little bit confusing when you're doing a recipe. You're like, what exactly do they mean? But these red pepper flakes, let's see what they're called. So I used the Trader Joe's, and it says organic crushed red pepper. So it can be crushed red pepper, they can be red pepper flakes, they can be crushed red pepper flakes, all different versions. So that's what they're referring to in a recipe, is these little crushed red peppers. So the most commonly used pepper in crushed red peppers is the cayenne pepper, but it's not always just cayenne. It's usually a mix of a lot of different peppers, but the most prominent pepper is usually the cayenne pepper. So the peppers usually also are in the range of 30,000 to 50,000 Scoville units, which we've discussed that in other episodes, but basically there's this big range of how hot a pepper can be. Starting at 0, can go all the way up into the millions, like the ghost pepper is typically in the millions. So the peppers used for red pepper flakes are between 30,000 and 50,000 in the Scoville units. So that's pretty hot, pretty hot. I know that when I was growing up, my brother and I would always do the game, who could keep the red pepper flake on their tongue the longest. I never won. But sometimes they can be really, really spicy, or really hot, I guess. So speaking of cayenne, crushed red pepper or red pepper flakes, sometimes people use that interchangeably with the word cayenne pepper, but that's not always the case. So cayenne pepper is ground very finely, and it is made just from the cayenne pepper. And red pepper flakes are always a mix, and also flake is the key component here. So if a recipe calls for the flakes, you want to buy the flakes. Or if it calls for crushed red pepper, you want to buy the flakes. Because that can be a big difference in heat. Like let's say it said half a teaspoon of red pepper flakes. If you did that versus a half a teaspoon of cayenne, the cayenne would be very hot if you did half a teaspoon or whatever the amount. So they're not always interchangeable, just so we know. So basically, red pepper flakes, crushed red pepper are all referring to the same thing, and that is these. I'm going to keep talking about, I'm going to say red pepper flakes for the rest of the show, but you know what I mean. If, for example, the jar says crushed red pepper, basically the same. So we're not referring to like ground cayenne, because that would add a lot of heat. And if you want to know more about cayenne, I did a whole episode all about ground cayenne pepper too. So keep that in mind, check it out. Okay, so background information. Red chili peppers are part of the Solanaceae family, which is the nightshade family. And they were first found in Central and South America. They've been harvested since about 7,500 BC, so it's been a while. Spanish explorers were introduced to the pepper when they came to Central and South America. They brought it back to Europe, and then, but they were in search of the black pepper, but they discovered the cayenne pepper, the red chili peppers along the way, and then brought it back to Europe, and then the popularity spread over to the Asian countries as well. In particular, Indian cooking, or Indian people in India adopted the red peppers as well. So now they're everywhere. But that is kind of the path, apparently, that the red pepper took. The village of Bukovo, North Macedonia, is often credited as the place where the red pepper flakes were first created. Okay, so what cuisines use red pepper flakes? A lot. And what sort of recipes use it? A lot. So red pepper flakes are used in pickling things like pickles or other pickled vegetables, in chowders, spaghetti sauce, pizza sauce, soups, sausage, you name it. Crushed red pepper flakes are also found, are often found in Italian cooking, Indian cooking, Mexican cooking, and Caribbean cooking. They're also used to make pickles, like we just said. And Southern Italians popularized the red pepper flakes in the beginning of the 19th century and brought them over to the U.S. when they migrated. They were served in some of the oldest Italian restaurants in the United States. As we see now, a lot of pizza places or Italian restaurants still have those on the table. Chinese chili oil also uses a version of a crushed or a red pepper flake in the oil to give it some heat. Korean chili flakes are called gochugaru, and they're often used as a condiment and used in recipes like kimchi, gochujang, soups, and stews. Okay, and then the Aleppo pepper is also known as pol biber or halabai pepper or Turkish red pepper flakes, and they are semi-dried, coarsely ground red peppers found in Syria and Turkey, and they're very similar to the trusty red pepper flakes that we have here. Let's see, and also found in a lot of Mediterranean cuisines. And let's see. Oh yeah, red pepper flake shakers are often found in restaurants in the Mediterranean, or Mediterranean restaurants, I guess, especially pizza places. And crushed red pepper has also been used in traditional medicines in Asian countries like Japan, Korea, China, and India to counter health problems associated with digestion, blood circulation, and poor appetite. So it can be a culinary addition, or it can also be used medicinally, which we will talk about that in a little bit. Okay, so let's just jump right into the health information. I'm going to take a quick sip of water. I've got my trusty Cincinnati mug. Okay, so the bright red color comes in red peppers and red pepper flakes, comes from the carotenoids, which are the plant compounds that give all the good health benefits. The most common one is capsaicin, which we've discussed in other pepper episodes. And red pepper flakes have antioxidants, which is good for our immune system and may help fight heart disease and cancer. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And red pepper flakes also have vitamin A, they have vitamin C, they have vitamin B6, fiber, capsaicin, as we said, which is an antioxidant. So, I have 7 health benefits to tell you about. I'm just checking our chat to make sure nobody else has joined in. Okay, red pepper flakes may be good for our heart health. Always a good thing. So there were researchers analyzed the diets and health records of more than 22,000 people living in southern Italy, and they followed them for about 8 years. And after the 8 years, they found that people that ate red pepper flakes more than 4 times a week were 1/3 less likely to develop heart disease than the people that didn't eat them at all. So that's pretty cool. Makes me want to add red pepper flakes to more of our food items. Okay, and number 2, red pepper flakes may be good for our immune system because of the antioxidant components from the capsaicin. Health information number 3, health benefit. Red pepper flakes may boost our energy and athletic performance. So there was a study done on mice where they were given capsaicin for 4 weeks, and then there was a control group that didn't get it, and then they had to perform a swimming test, and the group that had the capsaicin performed way better than the other group in the swimming test. So, excuse me, I thought that was pretty interesting. Number 4, red pepper flakes may help reduce blood glucose levels. A study showed that capsaicin supplementation helped reduce blood glucose levels in mice by increasing insulin levels. So just processing our blood sugar better. Let's see, number 5. The capsaicin in red peppers has been found to be anti-inflammatory, always a good thing. A study on mice found that when capsaicin was applied to an inflamed area, I think it was on their leg, the inflammation was significantly reduced. That's always good too. Okay, number 6. Red pepper flakes may help with ulcers caused from H. pylori. The capsaicin found in peppers was found in a study to be effective in treating ulcers because of their anti-inflammatory components. And last but not least, capsaicin is used as a pain reliever in a lot of different ointments and patches. It, at first might burn the affected area, but then it gives it a cooling sensation afterward. So I know that that's been used a lot in a lot of different pain relief treatments. So, are there risks in eating red pepper flakes? Well, not a whole lot unless you are avoiding nightshades. Then you want to avoid red pepper flakes because they're in the same nightshade family. Or avoid them if you experience indigestion or reflux when you have spicy foods that have peppers in them. And also avoid them if you experience digestive discomfort from peppers or spicy food. Otherwise, give it a go. Okay, so storing red pepper flakes, like most spices and dried herbs that we discuss, in a good, well-sealed container. Keep them in a cool, dry area away from heat, like in a pantry. And so the heat and the flavor of the peppers can reduce over time. So either check the expiration date. I think pepper or spices like this, prepackaged. Oh yes, this says best before April 2023. So I guess they last about 2 years. So check the expiration date or just give it a taste. It might just have a lot of reduced heat to it, but that does reduce after some time. So that's kind of the information, all the information we have about peppers. Really good stuff. Really easy to add to our food. So today we are going to make Asian-inspired cucumber salad. I'm really excited because I'm going to use the mandolin. I haven't used the mandolin in quite some time. And we're going to add some red pepper flakes to it. So let's make some. This is going to be a great appetizer for our dinner tonight. We're having fried rice. So I thought, ooh, a nice cooling and like a nice refreshing cooling salad before with a little bit of heat sounded really delicious. Okay, so let's take one more sip. All right, we're gonna start with our trusty mandolin. So if you haven't used a mandolin before, it is a blade. This is really nice because it has the cup underneath, or the container underneath, and it just catches all the sliced cucumber for you. But this is also really nice because it says, turn the wheel this way to make a thicker slice, turn the wheel this way to make a thinner slice. We want pretty thin slices, so I put it on almost the end, almost the thinnest of thin. Okay, and we have an English cucumber, which I cut it in half, mostly it always has the plastic wrapped around it, so it's always kind of hard to take off. So I cut it in half. So we've got one English cucumber, and we're going to run it across the mandolin. So you always have to be careful with your fingers as you get closer, but let's see. I always like to cut one, see if I like the thickness. I think it needs to be a little thinner. So we're going to move the blade. Here we go. Little bit thinner. See, it's a trial and error here. Okay. There we go. But you can make it as thin or as thick as you want. Okay. I found the width or the thickness or the thinness that I like. And all you do is you just run it over this blade, and it's so nice because then they're all even. They're all evenly sliced. But if you don't have a mandolin, you can totally just use a knife. Oh yeah, these are really nice and thin. Might make it a little thicker. Okay. But this is really fun because it just does all the slicing for you and makes your life a whole lot easier. And they're all just perfectly sliced. Alright, so the recipe calls for 2 English cucumbers. I'm just doing one because I think that's going to make kind of a lot. And it'll just be 2 people in our household eating this salad. So I think 1 is enough, maybe even half of 1. Because, yeah, because I'm slicing it pretty thin. I think it'll probably be good in leftovers, but we'll probably just eat all of it. So I'm just going to do half because I'm making it so thin, it's actually kind of a lot. Kind of making a lot. They look like little cucumber. You see that? Little cucumber potato chips. All right, almost done. Here we go. This recipe, super easy. You can make it for lunch. You can make it for dinner. Okay. As we get closer to the end, we want to be very careful to not slice our fingers. That would be bad. Okay. There we go. And we've got, whoopsies, really nicely sliced cucumbers. Okay, I'm going to put that in the bowl. There we go. Let's do a little bit more since we have it, you know, why not? It smells really good too. It is a very refreshing salad. Okay, here we go. We've got our cucumber. And then we sprinkle some salt on the cucumbers and put them in the bowl. And then we make the dressing, pour that over, and it's ready. So we'll have this with our dinner, a little appetizer salad, something really refreshing. Okay, we're getting there. I'm gonna make them just a tad bit thicker. Okay. Otherwise, they're so thin. But you can make them whatever way you want. It is gonna make a very, very pretty salad. And really refreshing. So the other ingredients are rice wine vinegar, sugar, sesame oil, cilantro, green onions, scallions, aka scallions, garlic, ginger, did I already say that? Sesame seeds, and red pepper flakes. Or the recipe says crushed red pepper to taste, but we know now that that means red pepper flakes. Okay, getting to the end there. I like to be on the safe side with not getting too close to the blade. Okay. Look at how pretty these are. They are just so pretty and so easy. So easy to do. All right, they're all the same thickness. Okay, now we're gonna make the dressing. Okay, so the recipe oh yeah, I forgot. We have to sprinkle some salt on the cucumbers. And kind of mix it around. This is really pretty. Really, really pretty. I don't use cucumbers all that much, and whenever I do, I love it. Okay, so 1/3 of a cup of rice wine vinegar. I'm going to do about 1/6 of a cup because I'm cutting the recipe in half. Okay, so there we go. And I'm doing 1/4 of a teaspoon of granulated sugar because I cut the recipe in half. There we go. And 1 teaspoon of toasted sesame oil. I love sesame oil. Okay, this is an estimate. Okay, oh yeah, that smells really good. A tablespoon of chopped cilantro. So I have our cilantro here. I'm going to chop it up. Chop it up. I probably will have more than a tablespoon, but that's okay because we like cilantro in our house. We had a lot of fresh herbs this summer in our garden, and now I'm starting to have to buy them at the grocery. I had to buy some eggs today at the grocery. We have chickens, but they're not laying as many eggs because the weather is getting cold here. Okay. And carrots. We had so many carrots this summer. And now I had to buy some carrots for the first time, I think, since June. So that's pretty good. Okay, now we're going to add the cilantro to our dressing. What is next? Green onion, scallion, same thing. Okay, so we're just going to chop them into tiny, tiny little circles. I seriously can't wait for this salad because the dressing smells so good. Okay. I'm going to concentrate on my chopping here while I don't look at the camera just for a moment since I'm chopping these green onions. I want to be careful. Okay. Put that in the dressing. Yum. I love a fresh dressing like this. Okay. 1 clove garlic minced is what the recipe says, so I should technically do 1/2 of a clove since I'm cutting it in half, but we love garlic at our house. So I'm putting the whole thing in. Whole clove of garlic. We love a garlic experience in our house. And Raphael planted a lot of garlic in our garden, and we are still enjoying it. Okay. We've got garlic and ginger. Freshly minced ginger. I'm going to use the microplane. So if you don't have a microplane, I highly recommend it because you can use it for ginger. I use it mostly for ginger. You can use it for chocolate. You can use it for zest, like lemon or orange or lime. Oh my gosh, that smells so, so good. Okay, there we go. So that is the dressing. Super easy. And then we just whisk it together. Oh my goodness. So we're kind of whisking so that everything's kind of even. The sugar in here is getting, smoothing things out. Okay. There is our dressing. There we go. Then we just pour it over the cucumbers. I'm going to move those over here so you can get a better view. And the herbs are kind of sticking in this bowl, so I'm going to use my hand to get the herbs out. Oh my goodness. It smells so good, everybody. It smells so, so good. So easy. Just like a nice, healthy addition to a meal. Go, and then we top it all off with sesame seeds. It says toasted, but we have raw. I don't mind either way. And of course, our red pepper flakes. Make sure my hands are dry. Okay. We've got our red pepper flakes. Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. And I'm going to add a little more cilantro just because that's pretty. Here we are. Yum! I wish you all could taste this right now because it looks so good. So I will post the final product, the picture of it, on Instagram. So you can see, and then I'll give the information on how to find it. You can find it on relish.com. It's called Asian Inspired Cucumber Salad. Yes, by Two Peas in Their Pod. All right, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to the show today. Red pepper flakes, it is today. Add a little heat, add a little spice to your meals. Use red pepper flakes, also known as crushed red pepper flakes. Okay, everyone, have a great rest of your day. I will talk to you again soon. See you in the next episode. Okay, bye.